Here is your African true story. Africa and Africa diaspora. K-pop and the disillusion of racism and cultural appropriation of Africans and people of African descent. K-pop has expanded considerably over the last few years. South Korean artists that were largely invisible outside their home country now embark on huge world tours, receive worldwide media attention, and collaborate with non-Asian artists. Yet, as the K-pop industry has grown to incorporate a larger and more diverse base of international fans, and with it, their spending power, one issue that has never been fully confronted is that of cultural appropriation, racism, and racial insensitivity. Some K-pop artists put on black scents and wear ethnic hairstyles in their music videos. Other artists utilize black culture for comedic purposes, dressing up in blackface while imitating famous musicians. A few artists act as though they are one with black culture entirely, using the N-word in their lyrics. All of these are examples of cultural appropriation, racism, and racial insensitivity. Cultural appropriation occurs when elements of our culture are used, taken, or adapted by people not of that culture without proper education of the culture they are taking from. This kind of appropriation is harmful and offensive, promoting exploitation, resulting in racist action, and frequently involving a lack of cultural recognition. Unfortunately, cultural appropriation of black hip-hop, rap, Afrobeat, and reggae culture in the Korean music industry is rampant. Racism and cultural appropriation in K-pop are easily one of the most controversial current topics on the internet. Many people have talked about it from the start, and many continue to talk about it, as many Koreans can be very racist to black people or are very fascinated with them in a way that is not okay. Koreans are also obsessed with white people and their skin tone, that seeing a black person is new and strange to them. It is such a problem that there are posts on how to be safe in Korea if you're a black person. There are countless stories of people talking about their experiences, like harassment for pictures, restrictions from entering nightclubs and restaurants, asking to touch their hair, locals refusing to sit next to black persons in trains, racial slurs, and general rudeness. We regularly often see occasions of cultural appropriation or racism with K-pop stars in their song, music videos, and dressing, but sadly, these situations usually get ignored and end up being pushed aside despite the disapproval and disappointment expressed by many international fans, especially Africans and people of African descent. It is rather an uncomfortable and disappointing feeling to support an artist and discover that they find elements of Black and African culture to be a joke or something that does not deserve respect. It is even more disappointing when fans of said idols raise awareness about these issues and bring it to the attention of these idols and their companies on social media, but it just gets ignored. It is also an odd thing to see, since so many K-pop idols want to globalize and extend into international markets, but lack the cultural sensitivity training or the initiative to learn more about various cultures of their international community and how to respect them. Unfortunately, K-pop doesn't care, and in fact, neither does a huge chunk of their listeners. K-pop's success in capitalizing off a Black and African culture is partially because a large portion of fans are only willing to hear Black lyrics, accept Black style, and much more when it's through the mouths and appearances of Korean musicians. Many K-pop listeners simply do not care to understand the complexities of Black and African culture and how it applies to the music industry. Similarly, the corporate world of South Korea fails to consider and occasionally ignores these issues because producing, distributing, and marketing the culture makes them money. Why then should K-pop faces make money off emulating black people while black people are discriminated against every day? Idols have disrespected and appropriated black people repeatedly, and the sad part is that these idols don't get any repercussions for the behavior and still grow a following even within the same people they despise. These idols need to educate themselves on cultural appropriation and racism because people of color are not bound to teach ignorant people anything about race. The main thing that these idols and companies can do is obviously listen to the international following. When there is an incident of cultural appropriation, many fans are quick to tell these idols and companies what they did wrong. Companies can have more cultural sensitivity training, but that should not be needed as the internet is accessible to everyone. Being that these people are adults, they should be capable of seeing incidences from the past and understand what those past idols did wrong. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, follow, share, and like our video. It's the best way of supporting us. And remember, Africa is watching.